Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel Coffee Tea Paper. My name's Louise and I'm so sorry that there's been a delay this week. However, I have been doing a little bit of filming to show you the well, the highlight of my week, but also the chaos that is currently our home. Anyway, let's have a little look at the footage I took, and then I'll do a little bit of show and tell, and then we'll get into this week's prompt. And once again, I do apologize for the delay. So I was very fortunate that on a Sunday I went to the most wonderful workshop with my friend Roz, and it was a watercolor workshop focused on autumn leaves being run by Leslie Strauss, and it was held at Paper Boat Press, which is a beautiful store and art gallery here in Brisbane, run by Kylie. Run by Kylie. I've forgotten Kylie's her name right now, but she is a potter, a poet, a writer, an artist, and as you can see here, this is the some of the beautiful items that she has on display and for sale in her store. For the workshop, we started off by making our own pen out of natural materials, and then we did some warm-up exercises using black ink and our pen, and then we moved on to doing various techniques that Leslie demonstrated for us, and then we had a practice on this paper to play with watercolor. And we only used black ink, we used red ink, we used a brown watercolor and another watercolor by Daniel Smith, which is this amazing bluey green granulating color here. And I'll just mix it up in my bowl here because it looks blue, right? Then you just clean paintbrush, mix it through. It's got greens and yellows, and it just is the most amazing, beautiful color, I have to say. Here is my rather feeble artwork. I loved going with Roz because she's amazing, so I kept glancing over and seeing her beautiful work. Then the other thing is, we've totally managed to pack up all our kitchen and laundry. I'm so glad to be getting rid of that really sharp corner. I cannot tell you how many times I have knocked my head on that corner while trying to do things in the sink. And here is the aftermath. This is day one. They've done so much stripping out of the cabinetry and shut off the water and the gas and the electricity to these areas. They're coming back tomorrow to do even more demolition work. Here is a bit of the before. So all the cabinetry, it kind of looks quite contemporary, but it's actually 20 years old and it's really not in very good nick. Plus all our appliances were failing, so that's always good. I can't tell you, I've been waiting 10 years to have this done. So I just thought I'd show you my little temporary kitchen setup that I've been working on. Of course, we have to have the birdies with us. They've loved it. They've had the best day singing. They love all the people. Here's my little pantry cupboard that I put together. These sort of plastic crates, but they have these little doors to try and keep the dust and debris out of our food and our plates and so forth. Yeah, so we don't have very much at the moment because I don't really have anywhere to put it. So I've been trying to wind it down, really. And of course, the coffee machine, incredibly important. Bottle of wine, we had some last night, we might have some more tonight. Microwave. I'm lucky enough I bought a Thermomix years ago. I'll be using a lot of that, and my rice cooker. and toaster, and there's our little box of cutlery. And yeah, so they found some dodgy things when they were starting to demo the area. They found that the gas connection to our oven had no safety turn off, so that was a bit scary. They also found that there was a big gap behind the cabinetry, and there were a few residents that they moved on, so that also was a bit scary. And there was a bit of dodgy tiling that hadn't been done properly here in the laundry, but thank goodness all that awful sharp braining cabinetry is gone. So that color from Daniel Smith is called Cascade Green. And yeah, so just got a bit of show and tell from the watercolor workshop. We made our own drawing tools. There was just a whole lots of bits and pieces on the table, and we were encouraged to put a small piece of bamboo into the larger piece to use as a nib as such, and to cut it at whatever angle we liked, really. I decided to put some twine here because I felt it gave me a bit more grip, and then of course a nice little bit of natural decoration and a bit of paper wrapped metal or wire, paper wrapped wire twine here on the end to keep it together. And yeah, it was a really fun experience to do that, and I'll come back to that. And so we did a couple of warm-up exercises with our pens, just with ink, of a leaf study, just changing the angle, using some different techniques, some wet, but I was a bit slow. I made my paper wet and then I sort of faffed around a bit, so I didn't get that much blurring and differentiation as some people. But yeah, it was a really fun exercise. Then we moved on to this fold out piece, where we use different techniques to do the different leaves. So this one was a spray, a drop, dabbing out, and then coming back and drawing in. This was a drawing and then a spraying. This one was painting onto dry and then lifting out the veins with a dry paper towel. This one I think was another spray or a wash and then a drawing into that. This was painting with water and then dropping the color in. And this was like making a big sort of puddle, dropping things in, flicking some water over the top, and you can just see that amazing paint. It's just so beautiful. And yeah, so it's not meant to be an artwork as such. It was just to make to learn techniques. And then we were given time to work on a leaf study, and I picked these really interesting leaves. So these three are the same leaves I think you saw in the video, and there is sort of mottled green on one side, and then this almost a satiny silk-like golden sheen on the underside, a bit like a magnolia leaf if you're familiar with those, but I think it's an Australian native. So I tried practicing some of the techniques here, dropping paint in, splattering, lifting, painting with water, dropping, doing a bit of shadowing, and then Leslie encouraged us to look or think of a quote or some words around what we had created and the day. And yeah, so I found this one and it said, "Why do leaves look most alive while they are dying?" Which is a little dark, but of course, in autumn or fall, that's when the leaves change color and create that beauty and that very evocative moments of walking through drifting leaves or leaf drifts, because of course the leaves are dying or are dead, and that is the whole point of autumn and fall. And they pass on so the trees can remain dormant through winter and then burst into new life into spring. Which I don't know why I just explained that. I'm sure you're all very familiar with these concepts. Oh, gee. So as a little gift at the end of the class, Leslie gave us one of these cards we could pick. So you can see here it's Leslie Kendall. She has a website. That's a beautiful Banksia that she has created. And this is another type of Banksia as well. And yeah, so lovely, lovely, lovely. I highly recommend if you are in Brisbane or near Brisbane doing one of those workshops. There was also really, really yummy morning tea of an almond and orange cake with the side of cream. And I'm not normally a sweet tooth, but this had a sort of enough of a savory element with the almonds in it. I was all over that cake, let me tell you. So, ooh, let's light our candle. Yeah, so the guys have packed up for today. I can't say that I'm happy to see them go for the day, because we'll be seeing them again at 6:30 tomorrow morning. And yeah, I've got a bit of a headache, I have to admit. It's just been a bit noisy, and anyway, it's all right. Recap. Last week, you are exactly where you need to be. Well, I definitely was today, because they had lots of questions for me. Okay, so let's see. We have to put this one away. If your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. Oh, I really like that. I like that a lot. Because, one of the reasons that we are doing this journaling of the little box of calm is to find time for self-care, for reflection, for mental preparation for the week, even though for me today it is Monday and I'm not feeling very mentally prepared. But I have been compassionate, because I've tried not to put too much pressure on myself to get this video out when I just had other pressing requirements. My son's also gone off to camp this week, so there's been preparation, although he was mostly self-sufficient. There were a couple of things he needed for us to go to the shop together to get, but yeah, he mostly got himself ready. But there's just all of that kind of preparation as well. So yes, if your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. I like that a lot. Jack Cornfield, whoever you are, good work. Good job. We'll have to look him up. I'm going to pause there. I'm going to look for something. Oh, these are fish. Oh, these are koi fish in a lily pond. I just thought it was a sort of a weird floral pattern. Should have looked a bit more carefully, shouldn't I? Wow. Okay, last year I tried doing a fish in a pond spread. Is this time to revisit that? Because I wasn't very happy with it. I didn't like it very much. It may well be. Okay, I'm going to pause there. Go and get some supplies. If you're going to do some journaling along with me, just go and get some bits and pieces together, and we'll meet back shortly. It's actually the next day when I'm filming this, and if I turned on the sound, you would hear a whole lot of bang, 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 knock, knock, knock with demolition. So I'm doing this voiceover later, and I'm just showing you here the bits and pieces that I've pulled out. Some Japanese papers that I picked up when I was in Tokyo, some handmade papers from, I think I got them on Amazon from what I remember. The koi fish stickers were some of the very first stickers I made for myself. I then produced another version that I used to sell in my Etsy store, but I'm not sure if you can see here, but they have a slight glitter finish on the orange parts of the koi fish. So I had a few of these and I thought I will use them here. In the end, I decided to go with this blue paper that has the flower petals in it, and then I remembered I had a larger sheet of it, so I didn't have to be stingy on the page. I could cover the entire page, and I think it looks like water with dropped petals, perhaps from a tree above, dropping onto the surface of the water. I typed out the quote and printed it out on my faux memo printer, and now we're just getting into a bit of decoration. So very simple this week, but some large elements and some interesting colors and design composition inspired by the card. So I'm going to leave you with some music here. I'll check back with you at the end, but happy journaling. So I'm just finishing up here. I'm really happy with this page. I've come in with some torn green paper for lily pads, and yeah, I think it's a much better version of koi in water. Don't forget, if you're joining in, use the prompt hashtag CTP2024 Calm Journal Prompts, and I'll see you next week. Bye!